Could wonder be the lens that changes everything? I'm Jody, and I'm 70 years old, living here in Portugal. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I genuinely believe this could be the start of a beautiful community here on this channel. I have something special to share with you today, and it's a free resource that ties in what the topic is for this video. And that's RSD, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, and how it affects me when it hits me sideways out of the blue. So this resource that I'm going to be sharing with you is one of the ways that I help reframe that experience when it's happening. And another practice that I have that is part of helping myself reframe my brain when I start to spiral into RSD is to think outside of myself towards someone else who might need comfort or care. And so I'm going to actually look at my notes on my screen to read this quote, but there's a poet named Ocean Vuong, and he wrote something that just really impacted me. He said, when we hold our suffering, hold it close, we suffer more. But when we hold someone else's suffering, we have compassion. So one thing that I've learned to do is to just ask inside myself, that spirit of perfect love, would it reveal to me just a name? Someone in my life that I don't know what's going on in their life, but perfect love knows what's going on. Would they just reveal a name to me that I can reach out? And so how I reach out is usually with a graphic that I've designed in Canva. And it can just be something simple like a picture of flowers with the words, "You're not forgotten." And I just send that little square graphic in Messenger or in WhatsApp, and I reach out to someone else outside of my own struggle, outside of my own pain. And that's another way that I've found that it can help me break that cycle of spiraling down into the depths of RSD. So I have for you as a gift a Google Drive folder that I have filled with 25 different graphic images that you are free to share with those in your life. And whether you struggle with RSD or not, it's really, really fun to open up your Messenger and get a beautiful graphic from someone that cares about you. In the description, you'll find that link to that folder, and I hope that you enjoy them because I truly enjoyed creating them for you. But first, let me show you around my studio. I am an abstract collage artist, and I love making marks, gathering papers from many, many different places, some from vintage markets here in Portugal, others from old scrapbooks that I found. And anyway, I just love gathering them together and tearing them, assembling them, and creating something new. There are 2 framed pieces here in my studio, and they're actually done with hot wax or a process called encaustic. And I created those back in 2012. So art has been a part of my life for quite a while now. Before I create anything, I usually light a candle, start my diffuser, and just kind of give myself a little hug, like a ritual, a small one that tells me it's okay to start something new. You might have met Goji in a previous video. He's our little mini schnauzer, and he is a special needs dog. He's only 3.5, but he was born with a condition called congenital myotonia. And what that is I don't know if you've ever heard of fainting goats, but it's the same condition that they have. It just means that his muscles, if he is startled, become very rigid, and then he just sort of falls over sideways. He doesn't actually lose consciousness. He's not fainting, but he just loses mobility and loses the ability to stand up. So he has that condition, and he's on medication 3 times a day to help with spasticity in his muscles. And today he's actually in my studio with me. So I'm gonna put my mic on and see if I can't show you Goji. He's not really happy about it. He would rather be in the living room, which is his favorite place to be. And so just 1 minute and I will show you Goji. See if we can turn this around. And there he is. There's the bug. There's Goji. And he's just kind of got his nose buried in the corner. Oh, that's our dog. So, like I said, he would much rather be in the living room on the couch because he thinks the couch is like his giant dog bed that Rob and I just join him on, you know, like we're invited to his dog bed. He's not invited to our couch. But anyway, that's Goji. So he's in here with me today. Rob is away taking a Portuguese class. And so I have some time alone. And Goji doesn't like to be left alone on the couch. So he's going to be in here with me. Just a little bit about me. My husband Rob and I moved here to Portugal several years ago. It'll be 5 years in August, and we'll actually be able to apply for citizenship then. And it's actually been one of the greatest adventures of our lives living here. Not to say that it hasn't been without many, many challenges and obstacles to overcome, but it's a good life here. So we're happy that we came. I'm postmenopausal. I'm 70 years old, and I also have a late diagnosis of ADHD just a couple of years back. So it wasn't really a surprise. I think I knew for a long time that was what was going on with my brain, but there is definitely a time of grieving that happens when you are diagnosed late in life. That feeling of, would things have been different in my life if I had found out sooner, if I had had support sooner, like in school and things like that. But one of the things that comes with ADHD for me is what I mentioned earlier, which is RSD, or rejection sensitivity dysphoria. And that's a big long word for what it means is just real or perceived, any kind of criticism or rejection just hits me really, really hard. And it can actually just overwhelm me emotionally to the point where I lose hours out of my day, and sometimes even more than a day, like a day or two. It used to be in the past where I was just so overwhelmed by the feelings and really had a struggle to reconnect with the people in my life. And if that resonates with you at all, I just want you to know that you're not alone, that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. It's just the way that your brain happens to handle that kind of information. But there are some things that I've learned to do that help me personally. One of those things is, if the weather permits, if it's not like pouring down rain, which it did a lot this last winter, I grab Ruthie, and Ruthie is my camera. I named my camera. I have an Osmo Pocket 3 camera, and I named it Ruthie because I thought we're going to be friends here, so I might as well just give it a name. And I grab Ruthie and I go outside for like even 10, 15 minutes, just a little quick walk around the block. And I ask Perfect Love to show me things that can spark wonder in my heart, to help me pull myself out of the overwhelming feelings of anxiety and dread and pain, all of that. So I'll just go out with my camera and ask. For me, it's a relationship with the Lord. I ask him, show me things that I can hold wonder in my heart about. Just help me reset my brain because I desperately need to reset it, right? I don't want to spiral down and keep going down and down and down. One of the things might be the other day I found some jasmine blooming in a neighbor's yard, like in their hedge. And it surprised me because I don't know why, but every year it surprises me that jasmine blooms here in the spring. Because I grew up in the Pacific Northwest in the United States where jasmine, it's not warm enough for jasmine to grow there outside, just wild like that where it takes over. And the perfume of it, the fragrance is so sweet and so delightful to me. I actually would just snip off a few, sprigs of jasmine, and I brought them home and I put them in a little glass of water here in my studio. It just fills the whole studio with that fragrance. So that was one of the things I found. Sometimes it's just noticing a really old wall and the stonework and wondering, how long that wall's been there and how many people have walked past it and the lives that have paraded in front of that wall in all the years and years here in Portugal. Things like that I ask Perfect Love to show me. Of course, I have Ruthie right there with me, and so I'll just do a 5 or 10-second video clip of that thing that's sparking wonder in my heart. And Rabbi Herschel, who is a very famous spiritual leader of the past, he spoke to God and he said, "I did not ask for success. I asked for wonder, and you gave it to me." And that quote just really resonates in my heart because I am convinced that wonder has the power to shift us out of the despair that we might find ourselves in. So I don't know if that's true for you or if you've ever considered it in your life, but I just want to challenge you to consider that. And let me just add really quickly that when I talk about reframing RSD, I'm not talking about ignoring my own feelings and my own pain or anxiety or whatever emotions are coming up. I do want to acknowledge them because they are often, well, pretty much always, tied to a wounded one on the inside who's very, very young and doesn't understand what the heck is going on. They just know that they're hurting, right? So I don't want to dismiss that little one on the inside. I don't want to make them feel like they should just get over it, that their pain isn't important to me, or that I don't value what their experience is. I do want to share those things with those parts of me on the inside. These 2 steps of taking Ruthie and going for a walk or sending a graphic to a friend are steps that happen after that part because I don't want to linger in my own pain, but I do want to expand my awareness to include someone else because I can hold both. I can steward and hold gently and compassionately my own pain that I'm experiencing and those little ones on the inside, and I can hold with compassion someone else and the struggle that they might be experiencing in their life. So as I close today, on this channel, we're going to be talking about things like RSD, having late diagnosed ADHD. Here I am, 70 years old and on hormone replacement therapy. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about my journey losing weight with a GLP-1 this past year. I've lost about 20 kilos. So those are some other topics that I'll be talking about. And this is going to be a place where starting something new, no matter what age you are, 50, 60, 70, or beyond, is celebrated, where you are celebrated and your journey is celebrated. You are still becoming, just like I am. I'm still becoming. I would love for you to like this video, to leave a comment, leave your thoughts and impressions. I truly want to hear what you're thinking, and to subscribe if you want to receive more of this kind of content. I'm Jody Vaco, and this is my life unfolding, and you are welcome here.